Imagine this. You own, or let's say you are captaining a cricket team. Out of the 11 members, only 2 players are completely dedicated on the winning. They're looking forward and working towards the next game so that they can win. 6 of your players are doing the bare minimum to secure their spot in the Indian team, in your team. And the remaining 3 players, they have nothing to do with the team's agenda, the team's matches, the team's preparation, the routine, training, nothing. They are totally not involved at all in anything. Now, forget about the tournaments, forget about the tours, forget about the World Cup. Tell me how many league matches can you win with a team like that? And don't get surprised. This is what you are playing with. If you are a Fortune 500 CXO or a normal CXO of a company or a business owner, small, medium scale business owner, or if you're an entrepreneur, this is what you are playing with. I'm not saying this. Gallup's 2025 State of the Global Workplace Study or results are out. As per that, only 21% of your employees are engaged at any point of time, fully engaged, which means almost 80% of your employees are either partially engaged or completely disengaged. They're not giving their best to the task at hand. As a founder, as a CXO, as an entrepreneur, why would you accept anything from your employees than their best? If this is a problem you would like to address, give me 10 to 15 minutes of your time in this video and I'll give you a couple of solutions that you can implement with zero money. Maybe one of them will take some money, very minimal investment, other one zero money. Okay, so but if this is not something that is bothering you and all your employees are completely engaged, they're performing at their best at all times, you can quit the video. Okay, and if not, then let's begin. The first organizational practice or strategic habit or atomic habit that I would recommend is, I don't have a name for it. This is something that is part of my executive coaching program, and this particular section is what I call engineering for human performance. Okay, so both these atomic habits are taken from there, where we have at least 12 to 14 different habits. These two come from there, engineering for human performance. The first habit is something that you have no requirement of money to implement. Okay, 3 days in a 5-day work week for 3 days, say Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 4 blocks, half day, should be blocked out for deep work. Yes, introduced by Cal Newport in his book titled the same, Deep Work. You should have time blocked for deep work. Monday, say 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesday 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Friday 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Totally blocked for all the employees and the CXOs and the CEOs to focus on deep work. That means no telephone calls. Employees must inform their family members this is performance focused time. We will not be available to take calls unless and until it's a medical emergency. You as the CXO, the founder, the entrepreneur, you have to inform your partners, your vendors, your investors and your customers that we are making a cultural change. Excuse me. We are making a cultural change and these times will be dedicated so that we can serve you better, so that we can deliver better quality service and products to you. So no calls, no telephones, no distractions, no emails, nothing. 3 blocks of 4 hours each, total 12 hours in a week should be dedicated to deep work. Now, is this just something random I'm blabbering? No. This is based on studies, this is based on research, this is based on psychology, this is based on neurobiology. Let me give you some data and stats. Okay. In his book, Carl Newport said that it takes 23 minutes of focused work for our brains to enter into a flow state where creativity, problem solving, strategic thinking becomes natural, right? But in a state of constant emails, constant notifications, constant meetings, constantly colleagues coming to your desk and telling you something, asking you something, informing you something, consulting for something, how would an employee enter a state of flow? So you have to design your environment. You have to design this organizational practice. You have to mandate it. For 3 blocks of 4 hours each, 12 hours, we will be focused on deep work. 2021, Microsoft did a study using EEG scans, which showed that consecutive meetings led to cognitive stress built up and reduced ability to think creatively and strategically. A McKinsey study found that senior leaders and CXOs spend only 9% of their time on strategic thinking. 9%. And you are worried why we are not achieving our strategic goals, why our competitors are eating out of market share, why employees are leaving us, why our employee satisfaction, our customer satisfaction is in the drain. 9%. This is a big reason to worry, right? When these people carved out 3 to 5 hours weekly for reflection, deep thinking, problem solving, and decision making, they saw a 28% improvement or increment in productivity, 33% improvement in decision speed, and 20% employee engagement improvement. Now tell me, which of the businesses wouldn't want these results? 28% increment in productivity, 33% improvement in decision speed, and 20% increment in employee engagement. Which business would not like this? Then Atlassian implemented something called the No Meeting Wednesday. And within a few weeks, they saw a 20% increment in coding output and a 27% increment in employee satisfaction. You telling me you don't want this for your business? So this is why habit number 1 was recommended. 12 hours of deep work every week. No exceptions from the top to the bottom. Everyone gets time to deep work. Let's move on to habit number 2. So habit number 2, atomic habit or organizational practice number 2, is at least, if not for all your employees, my recommendation would be for all your employees, but if not possible, at least for your senior managers, mid managers, and your CXOs, mandate a 30-minute post-lunch nap. I know what your brain is telling you. I know what you're thinking. But whatever is happening inside your brain right now, after hearing the first habit and the second habit, I call them opinions. And I don't care about your opinion as a business coach. I care about your experience. So rather than opining right now, just go ahead, implement it, experiment with both these habits for 6 months. Then you will have something called experience. And then we can get into a discussion. What worked, what did not work, what needs to change. Until then, stop giving me your opinions. Yes, talking about the nap time. This might need a tiny bit of investment because a recliner, motorized recliner, comes around 30,000 to 40,000 bucks. 10 of them, 20 of them, maybe a little money. But I'll tell you how I used to do it. I used to, after lunch, go to my car, put the AC on, put the car on start, put a 12-minute alarm. Initially, it was 30 minutes, then it became 15 minutes, then it became 12 minutes. And slowly, I didn't have to put any alarm also. Within exactly 12 minutes, I'll wake up, switch off the car, go back to my work. Because our company didn't have this post-lunch nap, right? But I have been using it for a long time. So 30-minute post-lunch nap for all your employees, if possible. If not, for your managers and decision makers for sure, including your CEO and CXO. Okay? Here's the science and data to back it up. NASA did a study of military pilots and astronauts, and it found that a 26-minute nap improved their cognitive performance by 34% and their alertness by 54%. I understand CXOs are not equivalent to astronauts, but their responsibilities are not less. It's just that they operate in a different orbit. Responsibility wise, impact wise, they are not less than astronauts. At least my personal take. Another study from Stanford and Harvard, sleep study, showed that a 20 to 30-minute nap helps reset short-term memory, boosts executive functioning, and restores logical reasoning. Post-lunch fatigue is neurologically unavoidable, and it is created by a natural dip in our circadian rhythm. Fighting it with caffeine or meetings, it's not leadership. It's you trying to fight with your biology. That's a fight you are designed never to win. Okay. Next, Google, Ben & Jerry's, Cisco, Zappos, and the storm. PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Thrive Global, Ariana Huffington's company, all of them have sleep zones or nap zones. And an internal Google study also found that employees who use the nap pods, they had 30% more ideation in post-lunch meetings. 25% drop is reported, 25% drop in reported burnout and 15% improvement in cross-functional collaboration. Tell me you don't want that for your business. So the second habit is 30-minute post-lunch nap. Counterintuitive, but I don't want your opinion. Go and experience it for 6 months. Then let's have a discussion. What worked, what didn't work, and what needs to change. Okay? Coming back to the blocks of, coming back to no meeting, the first habit, I have a pointer here from Amazon. In Amazon, there is a tradition. I don't know how accurate this is, but this is my understanding from research. Is Amazon has a tradition. If you want to have a senior leadership meet, right, where the decision maker has to come, you have to send a meeting invite at least a week in advance. Okay, at least a week in advance. And that meeting invite should contain at least a 2 to 6 page narrative describing the topic, the context, and the data, the story, and the decision that needs to be taken. Narratives are easy to understand. Supported with data, they give you insight and prepares the meeting invitees to come prepared. If someone is ready to support you, they should have to go through the narrative. They understand the data, then they support you. Somebody who has to oppose you, they also should have data to oppose you properly. This is what Amazon has achieved with this 2-page narrative that must be attached with a meeting invite. Otherwise, the meeting will not happen. And this is for the leadership team. If you want to have a leadership meeting, this is mandatory. And it is also mandatory for all the attendees to read the narrative, then come. What this did for Amazon, it reduced the number of meetings that the senior managers were attending. It made the duration of the meeting shorter because everybody came prepared. And the meetings became strategic tools where decisions were made, and the company or the team or the whatever the situation was, they could make progress. So that would be my advice, number 3, atomic habit, that if you are going for a senior leadership meeting where the decision makers are supposed to meet, then make the invite or send the meeting invite at least a week in advance and attach a narrative, story, description, not bullet points, description of the topic, the context, the data, and the decision that needs to be made. So that everyone coming to the meeting is on the same page and they're prepared whether to oppose the decision or accept the decision or favor the decision, right? So that's the third habit. With that, I am going to close this. What we have discussed so far is no meetings, no calls, no emails, no distractions on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's total 12 hours of time dedicated for deep work. Experiment with it for at least 6 months. The next one, no meetings without, especially for senior leadership teams, no meetings without the 2 page to 6 page narrative describing the agenda of the meeting, the topic, the context, the data, the decision to be made. Okay. And the last habit, 30-minute post-lunch nap for your leaders, for your decision makers. Right. So I hope you will have the willpower to overcome the opinions that your brain is throwing at you, why this will not work, why this will not in our company, why this will fail, what negative impacts it will have. I hope you will have the willpower to overcome all of that opinion making process and implement it, experiment with it for 6 months so that you have the experience. Opinions don't matter, experience matters. Okay, I'll leave you with that. I'll see you in the next video whenever that happens. Till then, take care and be limitless. And in the comments, let me know if you have any thoughts on the atomic habits we have discussed. Bye.